Hi friends, Mindy here. I have a quick process video for you today. I'm going to be covering this pocket journaling Bible. This is a kit you can get at Bythewell4God. They always have lots of colorways. This one is the one that matches with the current kit identified, but they do have other colorways as well. So it comes with everything you need to work in this Bible to cover it. It comes with several fabrics to choose from. It comes with journaling cards and stickers, end papers, everything you need to do to finish this project. So I'm going to go through here and pick the fabrics that I want to use to cover my journal. If you've seen my channel before, you know I love covering these. I'm using Cocoina glue. This is like a paste in a glue stick form. You can also get it in a jar, but we're going to be using the glue stick version today. And I'm going to start out by dry fitting this first piece of fabric. Everything that you get from By the Well for this project is cut to size. Everything, all of the hard stuff is done for you already. So I'm just gonna line this up. I'm using some little clips. I got these at the grocery store in the automotive section. I think you can even get some at Dollar Tree. They're just very handy for bookbinding projects, and I do a lot of that. So I want to use this other kind of contrasting fabric on the spine, so I'm just going to tear it down. I like the rough edges of it. I like it when the fabric frays a little bit. So I'm tearing off the edge, and then I'm going to kind of line this up and see where exactly I want that end piece to be, and just kind of lining it up as I go here. And apologies if you can hear my son in the background. Sorry about that. But anyway, so I just did that on both edges, just tore off a little bit, and I'll save that fabric for another project or even for my identified project. And now I'm going to start with covering this. So I'm just generously applying some of this paste to the back cover here, and then I'm going to hold it in place just with that one little clip while I work on the other side. One of the things I like to do when I'm doing this is I like to kind of pull back to area where I've just already added adhesive and add just a little bit more and kind of overlap that section a little bit, just to make sure I'm not missing any parts of it. And then I'm going to come around the spine and to the back, and then do everything and just glue everything down, and then just kind of press it down really well and make sure that it's going to adhere. And then before I move to the insides, I want to add this other piece of fabric. So I'm just kind of lining it up so that I have equal parts on the front and the back, and I'm just looking kind of top down to make sure that I have it lined up. And then I'm holding my fingers along the back side while I'm gluing this, and I'm just adding some adhesive on the front side and along the spine, and then just kind of folding it over, but I'm kind of using my finger to hold it in place so it doesn't shift on me. And then again, going to go back over a little section of the spine and this other side, and then just wrap it around and press it down really well. And then the next step, I'm going to trim off just a little bit of the fabric on the corners. You certainly don't need to do this, but it does help with some of the bulk on the corners. So I just cut off a little bit, not too close because you want it to be able to wrap. And then I'm also cutting some V shapes at the beginning and the end of the text block so that the fabric will wrap inside and around the actual text block of the Bible a little bit easier. So I have covered these multiple times on my channel. If you guys have been around a while, you know I love covering these. So that none of what I'm doing here is new, but I am starting here on the long side, and just kind of want to show you how I pleat this around because this is a corner that's rounded. So I just add a little bit of glue to that corner, and then I kind of fold it over once, and then I add a little bit more glue to that fabric, and then fold the whole thing over, and then also adding some adhesive there on that extra fabric too, that contrasting fabric. And then I'll show you on this corner as well. And then I'll just do the same thing to the other side, but I'm not really doing this super in depth because I've covered these multiple times on my channel. So if you're sticking around and watching these, even though you've seen me do it 100 times, thank you. I appreciate that. If you're new to my channel, welcome. But this is just a great project. I love doing these. They're so versatile and they have so many uses. So I always, when I get a chance to cover one of these, I will do it because they just make great projects. They make great gifts. And so they're just a lot of fun to do. So they also include end paper, so you can cover up kind of those raw edges of your fabric in there. So I'm going to start with folding these in half. I'm using a bone folder just to make sure I'm getting a really good fold there. If you don't have a bone folder, just use the back of your scissors and rub along there. It just gives that really nice crease, and that just helps it to stay in the gutter of the book a little bit better. So I'm pulling out these clips just to make this part just a little bit easier, and I am going to add a little bit of deli paper while I work. And I realized at this point that I had forgotten to put those little pieces down into the spine. So I just use a little fancy paper clip that I open. I wanted to cut a little bit of this fabric off because I don't need that much tucked down in there. And I added a little bit of glue, and then I'm just using that paper clip to kind of force that down into the spine section. It works better kind of if you pull the covers back on themselves. It opens up that spine and you can tuck that fabric right in there and it stays just fine. So I did add some deli paper. You could use wax paper or whatever just to protect my Bible pages. I didn't want them getting glue on there. And then I just lined up that one side, and then I'm going to kind of tuck my fingers down into the gutter and then just make sure that everything is lining up really well. You do have a kind of a couple seconds there to move things around, and then I'm going to replace those clips, especially right there on those corners, just where it's a little bit bulkier from that extra layer of fabric, just to make sure I get, you know, that adhered really well. And then I'm gonna do that to the back side as well. And then I wanted to do something just a little bit more on here. So off camera, I forgot I was not filming this part, but I did add some of that other contrasting fabric that came in the kit. I was going to make it a closure, but I decided to just wrap it around. And because the glue was still a little bit wet, I was able to pull up those end papers and just tuck the fabric underneath there. And then I just wrapped it and glued it on there. And these pieces I'm adding here are some wood veneer pieces that I have added some of the paper that came with the actual devotional kit. And then I just sanded down the edges of it and just turned these wood veneer pieces into like a little piece of ephemera. And I thought this looked really cute to have them kind of stacked on top of each other. So I had created these a while before the devotional before I started working in the devotional. I just hadn't used them yet, so I thought I would just add them here. They're you know, a little bit bulky, but it'll be okay. I am going to leave this to sit under some heavy books overnight, just to make sure everything is good and glued down. But that is it for me. If you like this video, I would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and until next time, bye.